This is part B of Chapter 18. Google provides big data analytics in order to help arm firms with the insight needed for SEO, SEM, improved website design, and effective online marketing and promotion. The base service is offered free to websites of all size, with premium offerings and support available for a fee. Analytics typically involve harvesting data that browsers and servers produce on their own, along with data from pages and apps that a firm will tag in advance. Mobile apps don't use cookies, as cookies are a web-based technology. In-app tracking scheme technologies are critical for tracking things like ad impression views and click-throughs. But the two schemes behave differently, and standards for both schemes have changed in just the past year. Technologies for providing a cookie-like feature in mobile apps continue to be developed. Google offers an in-app tracking scheme called Advertising ID, and Apple's is called IDFA, or Identifier for Advertisers. Apple's Safari browser disables third-party cookies by default. Traditional user profiling by ad network isn't possible. Apple has also shut down the MAC, or Media Access Control, address, similar to an IP address, which many retailers were using to track store foot traffic. Amid renewed criticism, Google has offered additional efforts aimed at giving consumers greater control over their online privacy. An additional technique deployed by Apple, Google, and others, known as differential privacy, aims to offer the advantages of customer profiling without requiring users to identify themselves. Tracking technologies remain in flux. What works on the desktop doesn't necessarily work on mobile, and default settings may be changed over time in ways that make life difficult for Google and other firms that rely on digital ad revenue. For more accurate targeting, Google offers what is called interest-based ads. AdSense would issue a third-party cookie that tracks browsing activity across Google properties and AdSense partner sites. AdSense would build a profile, initially identifying users within dozens of broad categories and over 600 subcategories. The click-through rate measures the percentage of people who clicked on an ad to arrive at a destination site. It is the number of users who clicked on an ad divided by the number of times the ad was delivered. Click-throughs and online purchases are great, but online ads influence offline sales too. If Google can prove its ads drive in-store sales, it can make the case for greater online ad spending. But while targeting can benefit web surfers, users will resist if they feel that they are being mistreated, exploited, or put at risk. The term opt-in refers to a program, typically a marketing effort, that requires customer consent. The term opt-out refers to a program that enrolls all customers by default, but that allows consumers to discontinue participation if they want. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, has already called for more transparency and user control in online advertising and for requesting user consent, or opt-in, when collecting sensitive data. Mishandled user privacy could curtail targeting opportunities, limiting growth across the online advertising field. Google's rollout of interest-based ads shows the firm's sensitivity to these issues. Google has also placed significant control in the hands of users. Each interest-based ad is accompanied by an Ads by Google link that will bring users to a page describing Google advertising and which provides access to the company's Ads Preferences Manager. Users can remove categorizations and even add interests if they want to improve ad targeting. Google also allows users to install a cookie that opts them out of interest-based tracking. Since browser cookies can expire or be deleted, the firm offers a browser plugin that will remain permanent, even if a user's opt-out cookie is purged. Plugins refer to a small computer program that extends the feature set or capabilities of another application. Many privacy advocates continue to voice concern over what they see as the increasing amount of information that the firm houses with the help of the different services that it offers. Google insists that reports portraying it as a data-hoarding big brother are inaccurate. Any targeting is fully disclosed with opt-out options. Google has introduced several tools, including Google Dashboard and Google Ad Preferences Manager, that allow users to see information Google stores about them, clear their browsing history, and selectively delete collected data. Despite Google's best intentions, a security breach or employee error could leave data dangerously or embarrassingly exposed. Critics counter that corporate intentions and data use policies articulated in a website's terms of service that can change over time, and that a firm's good behavior today is no guarantee of good behavior in the future. Privacy advocates also worry that the amount of data stored by Google serves as one-stop shopping for litigators and government investigators. But Google has continually reflected an aggressive defense of data privacy in court cases. However, the concerns of privacy advocates gained increased attention following the disclosure of the U.S. government's PRISM surveillance program. Ad targeting brings to a head the issues of opportunity, privacy, security, risk, and legislation. Google is now taking a more active public relations and lobbying role to prevent misperceptions and to be sure its positions are understood. Despite differences, it seems clear to Google, its advocates, and its detractors that with great power comes great responsibility. Studying ad-related fraud helps marketers, managers, and technologists understand potential vulnerabilities as well as the methods used to combat them. Common types of fraud attempted in online advertising include click fraud, which refers to the generation of bogus clicks, either for financial gain or to attack rivals by draining their online ad budget. Enriching click fraud is when site operators generate bogus ad clicks to earn CPC income. Botnets or zombie attacks are most likely to be used to commit enriching click fraud. Enriching impression fraud is when site operators generate false page views. Depleting click fraud involves clicking a rival's ads to exhaust their CPC advertising budget. Depleting impression fraud involves generating bogus impressions to exhaust a rival's CPM ad budget. Rank-based impression fraud involves when fraudsters repeatedly search keywords linked to rival ads or access pages where rival ads appear to generate impressions without clicks. Disbarring fraud is attempting to frame a rival by generating bogus clicks or impressions that appear to be associated with the rival. Link fraud is the process of creating a series of bogus websites, all linking back to the pages one is trying to promote. Keyword stuffing occurs by repeatedly searching keywords linked to rival ads with the goal of reducing the rival's click-through rate. Keyword stuffing involves packing a website with unrelated keywords. And finally, social influence fraud involves generating fake followers, likes, plus ones, retweets, shares, or YouTube views. Lots of clicks from a single IP make it easy to spot click frauds. Each click should ring the ad network cash register, and a portion of those funds will be passed on to the perpetrating site owner. Click farms refer to recruiting a network of users with the goal of spreading IP addresses across several systems and making a fraud effort more difficult to detect. Organized crimes happen through click farms that spread fraud across dozens of IP addresses. Fraudsters later used botnets or zombie networks, hordes of surreptitiously infiltrated computers linked and controlled by rogue software. To create botnets, hackers exploit security holes, spread viruses, or use so-called phishing techniques to trick users into installing software that will lie dormant, awaiting commands from a central location. The more activity an ad network can monitor, the greater the chance that it can uncover patterns that are anomalous. Sometimes the goal isn't theft, but sabotage. Google's ad traffic quality team uncovered a protest effort targeted at Japanese credit card firms. Ad clicks were eventually traced to an incendiary blogger who incited readers to search for the Japanese word kiyashinku, meaning cashing credit or credit cards, and to click the credit card firm ads that show up, depleting firm search marketing budgets. It was then shut down. Social influence fraud is used for many things: ego stroking, attempts at creating social proof, attempts at making a post seem popular in hopes it will be highlighted and promotes to others, and trying to influence search results. Search firm and ad network software can use data patterns and other signals to ferret out most other types of fraud too, including rank-based impression fraud, spamdexing, keyword stuffing, and social influence fraud. Since the firm serves more search results and advertisements than its rivals do, it has vastly more information on online activity. And if it knows more about what's happening online than any other firm, it's likely to be first to shut down anyone who tries to take advantage of the system. Technology that Google developed in-house, called PowerDrill, has been described as a freak computer system capable of processing 500 billion cells of data in less than 5 seconds. The system looks for fraud patterns and also spits out graphical representations for human inspection. A sort of Turing test emerges from the data. The rise in ad fraud botnets has come about because other security is getting stronger. Despite repeated high-profile data breaches, banks are tougher to hack and credit cards are becoming more secure. Accounts on the actual rate of click fraud vary widely. A study by the Association of National Advertisers and the anti-fraud consultancy White Ops pegs ad fraud losses in 2018 at an estimated $5.8 billion, an $800 million decline from a year earlier. Google adamantly disputes these headline-grabbing numbers, claiming that many such reports are based on logs that reflect false data from conditions that Google doesn't charge for. For example, double counting a double click or adding up repeated use of the browser back button in a way that looks like multiple clicks have occurred. Some third-party firms contend that nearly 1 in every $3 spent on ads is lost to fraud. Google contends that all invalid clicks, mistakes, and fraud represent less than 10% of all clicks, that the vast majority of these clicks are filtered out, and that Google doesn't charge advertisers for clicks flagged as mistakes or suspicious. Google has been growing, but its twin engines of revenue growth, ads served on search and through its ad networks, are maturing. It will likely be difficult for Google to find new growth markets that are as lucrative as these. Google's reorganization as a holding firm named Alphabet with a Google subsidiary breaks many of the new, smaller, riskier, but potentially growth-oriented efforts into separate businesses. Without substantial year-on-year growth, the stock price doesn't move. For big firms, pushing up stock prices requires not just new markets, but billion-dollar ones, which are rare. Both Google and Microsoft are on a collision course, and Yahoo is still a powerhouse, ranking ahead of Google in some overall traffic statistics. Google is also competing with Apple, eBay, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Salesforce.com, Netflix, and the video game industry, telecom and mobile carriers, cable firms, and the major media companies. PageRank is by no means the last word in search, and offerings from Google and its rivals continue to evolve. Google supplements PageRank results with news, photos, video, and other categorizations. Restaurant searches in Bing are bundled with rating stars. Product searches show up with reviews and price comparisons. Websites are also starting to wrap data in invisible tags that can be recognized by search engines, analysis tools, and other services. If a search engine can tell that a number on a restaurant's website is, for example, a street address, an average entree price, or the seating capacity, it will be much easier for computer programs to accurately categorize, compare, and present this information. This is referred to as the semantic web. With the Google Now app, the firm is trying to deliver results to you before you even ask for them. Google Now will send you personalized information throughout the day, calendar reminders, and weather updates. Google Lens uses the camera in your mobile phone to enter search criteria. Google enjoys major scale advantages in search and network effects in advertising. The firm's dominance helps grow a data asset that can be used in service improvement, all while its expertise in core markets continues to grow over time. But the strength of Google's other competitive resources is less clear. Within Google's ad network, there are switching costs for advertisers and for content providers. Choosing Google doesn't cut out the competition. Many advertisers and content providers participate in multiple ad networks, making it easier to shift business from one firm to another. This likely means that Google will have to keep advertisers by offering superior value rather than relying on lock-in. While Google's brand is strong, switching costs for search users are incredibly low. But so far, users have been creatures of habit. No rival has offered technology compelling enough to woo away the Googling masses. Defeating Google with some sort of technical advantage will be difficult, since web-based innovation can often be quickly imitated. Because of its size, Google is an antitrust target. Google was forced to abandon an advertising partnership with Yahoo after the Justice Department indicated its intention to block the agreement. Regulators may see Google's search dominance as an unfair advantage in promoting its related properties, such as YouTube and Google Maps, over those offered by rivals. Google must allow firms, including rivals, to license some of its key mobile patents when offered fair compensation. In the United States, after a nearly 2-year probe, one of the biggest investigations in history, generating over 9 million pages in testimony, the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, has essentially said no, at least for now. The FTC voted unanimously to close its antitrust investigation without bringing charges. The situation in Europe looks like the most immediate challenge. The European Union has accused Google of violating antitrust laws, displaying Google-provided results such as shopping, travel, and insurance over rival products. The European Union is also investigating Google's Android business, including tactics requiring hardware firms to comply with the exclusive pre-installation or bundling of Google's apps and services, and restricting modifications or forks of the Android operating system. Since 2017, the EU has slapped 3 massive fines on the search giant, totaling over $9.3 billion. Increased antitrust scrutiny is a downside that comes along with the advantages of market-dominating scale. Google has been a champion of increased internet access, and more net access also means a greater likelihood of ad revenue. Google has supported, with varying degrees of success, efforts to offer free Wi-Fi in select U.S. cities. However, after gaining significant attention and having municipalities throughout the country beg for Google to wire up their neighborhoods, the Google Fiber effort looks like it has come to a close, with rollouts canceled and efforts in many cities being cut back. Google is also a major backer of the O3B satellite network, meant for populations that currently lack internet access. O3B plans to have multiple satellites circling the globe, blanketing underserved regions with low latency, providing high-speed internet access for free. Google's experimental Project Loon hopes to bring the internet to even more underserved by blanketing regions with 12-mile-high balloons that act as floating internet relay points. Google's Project Link initiative has also built massive fiber optic networks in Ghana and Uganda. Instead of selling directly to consumers, Project Link leases Google-built fiber infrastructure to local ISPs and MNOs, who then compete to provide lower cost, higher capacity coverage to their customers. The Project Link initiative has spun out the effort and invited in additional partners in an organization now known as C-Squared, committing over $100 million to African broadband. Google can also be your wireless provider. Project Fi offers low-cost mobile data plans with unlimited talk, text, and international data roaming with no added fee in 120 countries worldwide, access to hotspots, and a usage-based pricing model where customers receive a refund for the unused data portion of their bill. Google isn't building its own network. Instead, it's becoming an MVNO, or Mobile Virtual Network Operator, licensing capacity from T-Mobile and Sprint at a discount for resale under its own brand and plans. Google has also successfully lobbied the U.S. government to force wireless telecom carriers to be more open, dismantling what are known in the industry as walled gardens, which refers to a closed network or single set of services controlled by one dominant firm. Before Google's lobbying efforts, mobile carriers could act as gatekeepers, screening out hardware providers and software services from their networks. Another way Google can lower the cost of surfing is by giving mobile phone software away for free. Google gave the Android OS to mobile phone manufacturers for free to encourage increased smartphone access worldwide. With Android, Google provides mobile phone vendors with a Linux-based operating system, supporting tools, standards, and an application marketplace akin to Apple's App Store. Android has the largest market share in the tablet OS market, and Android Pay allows users to pay for goods, store gift cards, and redeem coupons using their mobile phones. Android apps are also on Google's Chromebook, the lightweight laptop that moves much of the hard drive to the cloud, that is Google's cloud, which further strengthens the switching costs that bind Android users to Big G. Chromebooks are growing into the PC industry's biggest headache, already accounting for nearly 60% of K-12 education sales. As apps, hardware, and other offerings expand the Android ecosystem, this strengthens network effects through ever-increasing complementary benefits. Android isn't without challenges. Since Google doesn't control hardware sales, Android is a fragmented platform where only a small fraction of devices upgrade to the latest OS offerings. Google Glass is the firm's wearable headset technology with a screen in the upper right-hand corner. Google Glass is being used throughout the medical profession to provide instant access to patient information, to stream surgery for observation and commentary from experienced mentors, to capture dictated notes and images from field EMTs to better help doctors prepare for a patient's arrival, and to monitor symptoms and post-medication reminders for patients. Some have questioned Glass's future as a consumer device, especially after the firm canceled its Glass Explorer sales program. However, transfer of the unit from Google's experimental Project X group to the division where Nest lives may help. In 2006, Google paid $1.65 billion for YouTube's classic two-sided network effects. Users go to YouTube because there's more content, while amateur content providers go there seeking more users. The site now rents hundreds of TV shows and movies at prices ranging from 99 cents to $3.99. Even with falling bandwidth and storage costs, at 300 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute, the cost to store and serve this content is cripplingly large. The good news is that YouTube is booming, and while Alphabet doesn't break out the unit's contribution, analysts suggest it's somewhere between $12 and $15 billion. Alphabet hasn't told us if YouTube is reliably profitable. Can Google grab billions with radical Stadia cloud gaming? Hardware complicates things. It can fail. Microsoft has long struggled with hardware problems. It's costly, and you need retailer buy-in. Google's Stadia eliminates the console, with Google offering a no-latency gaming experience built entirely in the cloud. Google Stadia can support a faster gaming experience than any console available at the time of launch. Google does offer a controller that integrates across platforms: TV, PC, Chromebook, tablet, and phone. The firm claims it can support 4K video at 60 frames per second and boldly crows it is a faster gaming experience than any console available at the time of launch. A price point of just $10 a month could allow Google to crash into the $180 billion gaming industry while leveraging its assets of Cloud Smarts and YouTube. A button on the controller will allow you to immediately share a gaming session on YouTube, while clicking a YouTube link will go the other way and launch a Stadia game. Google Pay is another example of how the search giant is looking to deliver value through mobile devices. The service allows phones to replace much of the stuff inside your wallet. It can be used to pay for goods, store gift cards, collect and redeem coupons and special offers, and manage loyalty programs. Like Apple Pay, Google Pay will leverage NFC, or near-field communication, a payment technology finally making its way into retailer point-of-sale systems. Google Pay and Apple Pay both use a process called tokenization that essentially sends temporary, one-time use codes for payment, and which credit card companies map to actual cards behind the scenes. The new system will work on websites too, removing the need for data entry and online ordering. Google Pay will even automatically prompt you to use a loyalty card or gift card if you have one. Google's success in social media has been mixed. Its two biggest successes, YouTube and Blogger, were both acquired from other firms. Google hatched Buzz and Wave were both dismal failures, and after several years of trying valiantly to craft a different way to social, Google Plus is dead too. To Google's credit, the service has spawned several successful products and updates that have been given standalone status outside their initial tight tie-in with Google Plus. Among them, Hangouts is a video chat service that can support groups and enables screen sharing and group document editing. Photos, which evolved from Picasa into Google Plus, has since been broken out into an incredibly robust product, offering unlimited storage and incredibly robust tools that leverage Google artificial intelligence for photo editing. Auto-selective best picture. For example, the system can look at who's smiling and has eyes open. And AI is also used for gallery creation and more. Gaining more social sharing via Google's platform could eventually help the firm serve more ads, grow additional revenue lines, and gain additional data and insight that can be used to help in search, content recommendations, and ad targeting. Google offers beta releases of some projects. While Google introduces scores of products each year, it has also canceled several along the way, but it is relentlessly committed to developing new products and services. Google's secretive lab Google X is working on all sorts of gee whiz offerings. Google's apps are mostly web-based software as a service offerings. While initially clunky, the products are constantly being refined. Most Google apps allow not only group viewing, but also collaborative editing, common storage, and version control. Unknown is how much money Google will make on all of this. Virgin America, Jaguar, National Geographic, Genentech, and scores of school districts and universities are among the Google partners that have signed on to make the firm's app offerings available to thousands. And of course, Microsoft won't let Google take this market without a fight. Microsoft has experimented with offering simplified, free, ad-supported, web-based online options for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. Office 365 offers more robust online tools, ad-free, for a low monthly subscription cost. In mid-2019, Google disclosed Cloud was on an $8 billion annual run rate, and it planned to triple its sales force. Google usually waits for governments to notify that offensive content must be blocked. Google reactively censors access. Google's dominant position puts it at the center of censorship concerns. This concludes Chapter 18. Thanks for watching.